Look, man, another thing, dude, that we all as men got to realize. Stop thinking like rookies. Stop thinking like you've been alive for 20 years and you just your first girlfriend or something. Welcome to the Save My Catholic Marriage podcast, the podcast that helps you fight for your marriage when separation, divorce, annulment, or a sexless marriage are on the table. I'm Jerry Jacobs Jr., author of From I Do to I'm Done, The Wife's Exit Strategy. And for over 11 years, through more than 1,000 one-on-one sessions and over 500 group sessions, I've helped Catholic men reclaim leadership, stop chasing, and rebuild marriages that looked impossible to save. Men don't come to me when things are fine. They come when she says, I'm done. I want out. You're not the man I married. They come when the marital embrace is gone, when trust is broken, when desire is dead, and when her bags are already packed. I'm not a therapist. I'm a war coach. I'm the man you come to when you think you've tried everything else and sadly find everything else doesn't work. I help you ignite the Holy Spirit and take the fight to the enemy. No tips, no tricks, no soft advice. I train men to become the husband their wife has been begging for in silence, and the man Christ has been calling them to be. If this sounds like you, then brother, welcome to the battle. The battle for her heart, for her mind, for her body, for her soul. This is the Save My Catholic Marriage podcast, the Catholic war room for men. Pray hard, lead bold, love fierce. Bam! Welcome to part 3 of Why Wives Leave Their Husbands and Why He Didn't See It Coming. In part 2, we covered how men must begin in today's society to pay close attention to their wives as to ward off the influence of divorced women and single women. I'll leave the link to episode 2 in the show notes. So let's do this. Bam! Battlefield lessons. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into what's really happening and how it's happening, and we're going to do more of the lessons that we're really talking about. When I say battlefield lessons, what I mean is marriage is a battlefield, dude. We are fighting against Satan and the diabolical every day, 24/7. This is why you hear me talk a lot about we got to get on our game, because what's happening is our marriage starts to degrade, our family starts to degrade real fast, but we don't see it. And then by the time we look up and see it, well, it's not good. Things are going. They gone too far a lot of times. So real quick, what I learned writing From I Do to I'm Done, The Wife's Exit Strategy, a Christian husband's Catholic guide to halting her hidden plan to leave, divorce, or annul you. So yes, I wrote the book on this. It's called The Wife's Exit Strategy. And the reason I wrote this book because I wanted men to understand, start to become aware of what's happening. Look, man, in 2026 and beyond, dude, we can no longer put our head in the sand and think things are going to fix themselves. That's not how it works. Again, women have too many outlets, okay? So with that being said, writing The Wife's Exit Strategy helped me home in on the exact core problem of why marriages fall apart in today's society. And it boils down to one concept: complacency by the husband. As you heard me talk about earlier, women don't want to leave. They don't want to be unhappy. They do not want to not love us. But our complacency as a husband, we think it's going to be all right. We think we can solve it later. We get complacent. We neglect, and then we don't understand what's happening. Look, man, another thing, dude, that we all as men got to realize. Stop thinking like rookies. Stop thinking like you've been alive for 20 years and you just your first girlfriend or something. Complacency will get us in trouble because I'll fix it later. Well, I ain't gonna worry about it. She's got her job to do. I've got my job to do. Okay. And that's what it all boils down to. And what I've developed is something called rookie mistakes. And so I put everything in the rookie mistakes so that you can look at it and go, is that me? That's why I don't really say it's your fault. Because I know a lot of things are, I try to put it like, again, we as men are responsible. And so when I'm responsible for something, it's my duty to make sure it's done right. It's my duty to make sure things go like they're supposed to. I don't ignore it. I don't put it off. I don't procrastinate. I ain't got time for that. If we did our job like we do our marriages, how many of us would have a job? All right. Okay. So basically what we're going to really do is we're going to go with the following. So the following are 6 rookie mistakes husbands commit to cause the collapse of our marriage. These are 6, I call them rookie mistakes that we make that we know we shouldn't have made, but we do it anyway. Okay. Again, a lot of us weren't taught to be good husbands or fathers. We weren't taught about what real masculinity is or how even Christ intertwines in masculinity and what that really means. So again, the following are 6 rookie mistakes husbands commit to cause the collapse of their marriage. 1, rookies are complacent in defense of their home through spiritual warfare. So men are given the grace to confront Satan and the diabolical directly. One of our core missions is we are charged with the duty to defend our home against the diabolical. We can tell the diabolical is present in our homes when chaos is present. Okay, so what is that? For example, me and my wife are arguing all the time. We fighting. We're unhappy. She's unhappy. I think things are good, but she's unhappy. Unruly children, for example. In order for our home to be in peace, or as close as peace can be on this planet, we need grace from God. How do you get grace from God? You obey. You become obedient. You engage in spiritual warfare. You pray. You show homage to the Creator. Once you do that, your suffering as a man is offered up to Christ. Then we get graces. And then graces flows through our marriage from God, Jesus Christ, our marriage, to the husband, to our wife, to our children. When these things is not happening, that means that the home is full of the diabolical, that the devil is running things. It's called demonic oppression. Okay, and we'll go into that later, and not right now. Okay, so that's number 1. Next rookie mistakes. Rookies are complacent in their relationship with God. I just talked about that a little bit. A marriage requires graces, suffering, and sacrifice, mainly by the husband. When devotion to Christ is absent, it opens the door to the diabolical unrest and dissent. Grace from God is required for harmony, obedience, and submission to happen in a marriage and family. So now we have prayer, relationship with God. We have spiritual warfare, confronting Satan, getting him out of our home, away from our family. That's our job as a man. Okay? One of our duties, one of our missions. Next, rookies are complacent in service to their marriage. Another core mission of a man is to serve. If a man allows the marriage to degrade due to neglect, loss of the emotional connection, or inserting other things such as parents, friends, career above his number 1 priority is marriage, then his marriage will fall apart more easily in a state of unrest, such as separation, divorce, or annulment progression. The wife's exit strategy, man, I'm telling you, it will help you understand no matter if you think your marriage is good. First of all, if a man thinks his marriage is good, you're already in trouble. Because thinking my marriage is good means I'm the man, everything's going fine, I ain't got to put that much work in it. I'm what? Complacent. Okay? I'm complacent. God, I'm complacent in my marriage. I'm complacent with my wife. And then we wonder, why things are collapsing. Next, as a man, we must address problems in our marriage immediately, not put them off or adopt the habit of I'll take care of it later. That's what a rookie does. Okay. One of a man's most important missions is to serve. Serve God, serve his marriage, serve his wife, serve his children above himself. I call it holy lover gift number one. God, wife, and marriage, children, self last, which means we never think about ourselves above God, before our wife, before our children, in that order. A man gets called selfish when he does not do that priority. If you ever been in your marriage, if you've ever been called selfish, that's why. Because your wife and your kids look at you like you only think about yourself. When you do that order I just said, God, wife and marriage, children, and then yourself, all of a sudden you're serving everybody and nobody looks at you like that. Leaders serve, okay? Next, without service, again, he is like all other selfish men in society, only concerned with his own well-being and his own pleasure, completely consumed with himself. Hey, if your marriage is quietly falling apart, this is not a coincidence. Separation, divorce, annulment are not the cause. They are the consequences, because behind every marriage crisis, there's a pattern, a progression most men never see until it's too late or there's several moves behind. Look, when a crisis hits, rookies sit down, deny, procrastinate, do nothing, and lose hope. A strategist? He stands, he plans, he takes action, he holds his ground, and he rests in Christ. So the question is, rookie or strategist? Because most men try to fix this alone and crash and burn. A crisis demands a plan, not advice. Your first move, get the field manual. From I do to I'm done, the wife's exit strategy. A Christian husband's Catholic guide to halting her hidden plan to leave, divorce, or annul you. Go to SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. Next, rookies are complacent in their passion for their wife. I'm going to say it again. Rookies are complacent in their passion for their wife. Romance, devotion, passion, intimacy, sex. These are the second most important thing in a marriage besides prayer. I'm going to say it again. Sex is the second most important thing in your marriage besides prayer. Why? Because women require the emotional connection. It's the most important thing for them. And if the emotional connection is gone, guess what? They gone. He don't love me. I'm not in love with you anymore. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. They start thinking like that. Oh, I forgive you. We're going to just be friends. I can't tell me to get to my man. She won't get me out of the friend zone. We're just friends now. Our marriage is crap. Think about it, man. Again, you're responsible for everything in your house. So guess what? You're responsible for the sex. You're responsible for the intimacy, the romance, the devotion. You're responsible for all of that. Believe me, when you start adopting this mindset, man, things open up in your family. Your marriage opens up to things that you never thought could happen. As long as when she fixes herself, I'll fix myself. Or it ain't all my fault. Some of it's her fault too. Of course it is, man. Of course a lot of it's her fault. Of course some of it, a lot of it's your fault. But who does God hold responsible? Women react emotionally. Why? Women are emotional for one reason: to nurture and bond with the children. So if you think that an emotional person who is logical too, but emotion overrides them most of the time, If you think they're going to see their way through to thinking like you think, well, when she fix herself, I'll fix myself. Well, she's thinking when he does better, I'll do better. So who's going to be the grown up? Who's going to be the one not in high school? Who's going to be the one that's going to take responsibility for that home? Who's going to defend it? Who's going to protect it? Who's going to keep his family together? Who's going to do that? You. Why? Because that's what God told you to do. Okay? And that's how you get the graces. And that's how your marriage thrives. Through God, through Jesus Christ. From you, then to your wife. Okay? Next. So for women, passion is one thing that deters the feeling of hopelessness. That he doesn't appreciate me, that he's taking me for granted, resentment, loss of emotional connection, that her marriage is in a going nowhere state. Also, so when a woman, when the husband doesn't have passion about his wife, she senses that. So then she, over time, she gets complacent too. She stops being sexy for you. She stops making the intimacy better. She stops making her home being more as loving and caring as she was. Okay? This is why menopause will kick your butt. That's why menopause kicks women's butt, because they don't have their hormones anymore. And then their sense of passion and intimacy and all of that starts to go down because the hormones are not pushing them to procreate. Okay? With menopause is a whole nother subject for another day. so, so again, intimacy keeps away the feelings of hopelessness. It keeps the emotional connection going. Okay. So in other words, we must do these things even as a man when we don't feel like it. That's why it's called a duty. Sure, people think, well, if I don't feel it, then I shouldn't have to do it. See, that's what rookies do. That's what Christ didn't do that. Christ did his duty even though he didn't want to, or he did it anyway because God wanted him to do it. God asked it of him. Okay. Next, it's also important to mention it helps stop the assault and allure of single women and divorced women. If your passion for your wife, your intimacy and your sex and all those things, and the emotional connection is strong with your wife, it's very hard for a single woman, the allure of a single woman or divorced woman, to get in your wife's head. See, the problem with men is we allow too many doors to get open. Back in the 1900s and the 1800s, you could get away with it. There wasn't no internet. People lived far apart. A lot of folks stayed to their own business. Well, it ain't like that today. All your wife's got to do is tell one friend, well, he's neglecting me, and I don't know why. Our marriage is not really good, and I don't know why. I don't think he loves me. First thing he gonna get, girl, as far as you, I wouldn't take that. I'd get away from him. All of a sudden, now your wife is thinking, well, maybe she's right. It's because men, we leave the door open. We got our priorities mixed up, dude. We got our priorities mixed up. So again, the wife's exit strategy is to help you understand how this stuff progresses. A lot of you probably didn't even know that divorced women influence your wife. The single women. And guess where they see them all at? At work. Almost every woman today works. There are a few women that don't. Even then, though, it don't matter. It don't matter. They go shopping. They go to church. They got siblings and friends. Misery loves company, man. And when the devil, which is society, sees a happy woman, what's she so happy for? I'm gonna knock her off her. Oh, but they're gonna come across like they care about your wife. Oh, I just love you so much. I really care, girl. For him to treat you like that, I just want to see you happy. I just want to see you happy. I really do. The fact that he talks to you like that, I just can't take it. I'm gonna go talk to him for you, girl. I'm gonna go talk to him for you. Please. This is how it starts. But when your intimacy is on point, when your wife feels you love her and knows you love her more than anything in the world, it's hard for anybody to get through to her. Think about, if you ever doubt me, think about the story of Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. That girl loved that boy. No matter what anybody said, even her daddy, who was very powerful, didn't matter, did it? She said, I'm going to be with him no matter what nobody said. When they tried to pull her apart from him, they killed themselves. This is how hard it is for a woman who loves you to be deterred from you. All men got to do, you are charged to love one person as hard as you can. One. And it ain't the kids, man. It ain't the kids. People keep saying, well, they don't really realize the kids will be okay if you and your wife and God are okay. When kids start acting out, it's because the parents can't get together. When the parents are on one accord, the kids might act out, but they on one accord too. They know their responsibilities, they know their roles. And what we got to realize is, again, as a man, you're charged to love one person on this planet as hard as you can every single day. And that's your wife. And you know what the payoff is? The payoff is she will take your love and spread to everybody else. She'll spread it to your children. She'll spread it to all your friends. She'll spread it to your coworkers, your church members. She will give your love out into the world. See, most people don't know that. And your wife will definitely love them kids. Because why? You love the kids. Don't get me wrong. I know you love your kids, but you got to go to work. Even though your wife works, you got to go to work. You got to go really do it. You got to get 2 or 3 jobs sometimes. You know how it is. We all been there. So your wife is made for the children. She's made to bond with them. She's made to nurture them and nurture you. Okay? So that's what a rookie does. So it's imperative. So it's imperative that you keep your wife away from single women and divorced women. They will influence her. Your wife's gonna start talking different. She's gonna start defying you. You ain't gonna know what's going on. I'm telling you what's going on right now. And if you want to go deeper, get the field manual, the wife's exit strategy, the From I Do to For I'm Done. Get that book. You'll see. It'll open up the world to you, man. Next, rookies are complacent. I'm sorry, last thing before I go to moving. In today's society, it's imperative that a husband be a world-class lover in the intimacy department. Without it, he is just like every other man out there, normal, nothing special, and replaceable. Stop thinking that you can just make love to your wife any old kind of way and she's going to be happy about it. That's not how it works. You might have 10 kids. I don't care. Just because you got kids don't mean you know how to have sex. The right way to please your wife to the ultimate of her understanding through your actions, not through your mouth, how much you truly are devoted and love her. Okay? If you want your wife to be with you forever, learn how to pray, learn how to be a real man the way Christ would have you to do, and learn how to be a world-class intimacy provider in that department. And you will start to have a marriage unlike anybody else on the planet. One of the top marriages in the world. How can I say that? You know why? Because it's important that we understand as men how to do this. Your job and your career is not the legacy that you're going to leave. I don't care if you're an architect, you're the richest man in the world. Nobody's going to care when you die that you're the richest person in the world. They are going to care about your wife and your children and what they say about you. That is your legacy. And your grandkids and their kids and their kids. That's the legacy, man. Not some building or some business you built. Don't get me wrong. I love money too. I'm in the business. But I'm telling you what, nobody's going to care when you die. People think, well, I got my name on that building. Yeah, but you dead. Where your family? Did your wife love you? Did your wife think you was the greatest husband in the world? Did your kids respect you? Were your kids at your funeral? Did your kids visit you? Were in the nursing home? Please, man, this is chess, not checkers. Next, rookies. Rookies are complacent rookies are complacent as a Christ-like leader. Leader means serve. More exact, serve as Christ served, which means dying to our wants, needs, and desires, giving our life away for something greater than ourselves. Okay? This is the true art of manliness. Again, it goes back to that legacy thing. Giving your life greater for something more important than you are yourself, which is God, your wife, and your children. And then if you want to go build some buildings and be the richest man in the world, go for it. But I'm going to tell you what, I know a lot of rich people. We've all seen them on TV. And if you're not a rich person, you know what I'm saying. I mean, if you are a rich person, you know what I'm saying. And that is what? Money's great. It's one of the greatest things on the planet. It's great. It provides power. It provides freedom, a lot more than what a poor person might have. But in the end, it doesn't take the place of our family, of our bond with our wife and our children and our God. It doesn't. It doesn't, because there's always something empty. God is the only one that can fulfill an empty gut. How many rich people you know are stars that good on drugs? They die of drug overdose, die of a drug overdose, or whatever, or alcohol, or whatever. They can't stay out of jail because they're empty. Something's wrong. Even though those of us that don't have those kind of extreme problems, we understand what it means. Okay. Next, the last one, rookies are complacent in the protection of their wife. The last core mission of a man is to protect his wife, protect her physically and protect her from himself. How he talks to her, how he treats her like a partner instead of a beloved, how he unknowingly hurts her deeply through neglect. Okay, this one right here is the most important one, other than the spiritual warfare. Okay, because why? When we raise our voice to our wife, we call her names, we get irritated with her. We don't apologize. We don't let her know that we care, that we're sorry, how much deeply we care about her. She gets hurt deeply. And that the more we do these kind of things, that's why it's called protect our wife from us. Because men, we can hurt our wives more than anybody else on this planet. Because they're bonded to us. They love us. They're bonded through our relationship with God, our marriage in the church. They're bonded through intimacy. They're bonded through our children. So that's why it's very hard for a woman, those three reasons, because of that right there, it's very hard for a woman to leave her man. So when your wife does decide to leave, if she does, or divorce, or file for annulment, or whatever, just think of all the pain she has had to endure in her mind to be able to have the courage and the strength to do that. Ask any woman and she will tell you what I'm saying is the truth. My job as your coach is to try to get you to understand your woman, understand how she thinks, how she feels, why she feels the way she does, why she thinks the way she thinks. Why? So that you can learn to love her better, so that you can keep your marriage together, so that you can keep your family together. Look, man, splitting up, when the family breaks up, man, who's the loser in it? First of all, you the loser in it. Your wife's the loser, your kids are the loser, and society's the loser. We're all losers when our families break up. That's the biggest failure in the world. I'm so screwed up, I couldn't keep my family together. Yeah, everybody's gonna say, well, man, it wasn't just me. You right, it just wasn't you, man. But look, I just told you how the psychology works, man. And you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. But I'm telling you, I know I've got guys that have been married 50 years, 40 years that their wife didn't left them. And they thought everything was cool. So after this, we be right back. Bam. Let me pause right here because this matters. If you're listening to this and you're realizing your situation is already escalating, she's pulled away, talking divorce, or the marriage is breaking down in real time, then don't try to figure this out alone. Most men do, and they crash and burn because they don't understand what they're truly up against. Separation, divorce, annulment, they follow a pattern. And a crisis like this demands a plan, not advice. Inside the manual, you'll see exactly where you are in the breakdown and the next steps to stabilize it. And if you're ready, you'll have the option to work with me directly and map out your next moves. Go to savemycatholicmarriage.com. That's savemycatholicmarriage.com. So in conclusion, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness." So go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is upon you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Listen, if this episode hit you hard, good. Because that means you're finally seeing what's really happening. This doesn't fix itself. It doesn't slow down. And it doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Every day you sit still, you lose ground. And she moves further into the wife's exit strategy. So don't sit on this. Don't overthink it. Don't go back to doing nothing. Go to savemycatholicmarriage.com. Get the field manual. See the pattern. Take your first real step. Because right now, you're either becoming the man who saves this marriage or the man who watches it disappear. Hey, I'm your coach now. Let's get battle ready. Bam!